The Boy and the Protector of the Woods. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by a dense and ancient forest, there lived a young boy named Elias. His hair was curly and dark, his eyes bright with curiosity. Every day he would stand at the edge of the forest, gazing longingly at the deep, shadowy woods that seemed to stretch forever. The villagers often told stories of the forest, warning children not to go near. They spoke in hushed tones of creatures with glowing eyes and monstrous shapes, creatures that were said to lurk in the shadows, watching over the woods. The villagers believed the forest was a place of danger and mystery, a place to be feared. Elias, however, was different. He didn't believe in the frightening tales the villagers whispered. He believed there was more to the forest than they knew, and his heart yearned to explore it. Every day he walked close to the edge of the trees, his small feet brushing against the grass as he stared at the thick towering trunks that seemed to stretch into the sky. He imagined what lay deeper in the woods, the secrets that only the trees knew, the hidden creatures that danced in the quiet spaces between the branches. One morning, as the sun broke through the mist, Elias made a decision. He would venture into the heart of the forest. He packed a small bag with bread and cheese, his favorite wooden toy, and set off towards the trees, his footsteps light but determined. As he walked, the village grew distant behind him, and the sounds of life, chirping birds, the wind rustling through the fields, faded into a quiet hush. The forest was different. It was alive in a way that the village had never been. The air was cool and thick with the scent of pine and moss. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy above, casting shadows that danced on the forest floor. Elias marveled at the beauty around him, his eyes wide with wonder. With each step deeper into the woods, the sounds of the village faded further. The forest seemed to swallow the world around him. The paths grew narrower, the trees taller and older, their bark gnarled with age. The light grew dimmer, but still Elias walked, his heart steady with excitement and curiosity. After a while he noticed something strange. The trees, though towering and ancient, began to look as if they were watching him. Their branches twisted and turned, their leaves rustling as if they whispered secrets. Elias paused, sensing that something was different in the air. A rustling sound broke the silence ahead. He stopped and looked carefully, his breath catching in his chest. From behind a large, moss-covered rock, something stepped out into the open. It was tall, much taller than a man, with shaggy fur that shimmered with an eerie glow. Its eyes were yellow and bright, glowing like lanterns in the darkness of the forest. The creature had massive, muscular limbs, its claws long and sharp. Its face, though somehow still human, was marked with scars, and its features were twisted in a way that made Elias's heart race. For a moment Elias froze, unsure whether to run or stand still. The creature's glowing eyes locked onto his, and it took a slow, deliberate step forward. Elias could feel the ground vibrate beneath his feet as the creature moved. But instead of running, Elias found himself rooted to the spot, his feet heavy on the forest floor. He watched, wide-eyed, as the creature came closer, towering over him, its presence filling the air with an intense, almost ancient energy. The creature studied him, its glowing eyes softening for a moment. It circled Elias, its steps slow and deliberate, its massive form casting long, eerie shadows across the ground. Elias remained still, but inside he felt an unexpected sense of calm. He wasn't afraid. Somehow he knew this creature meant him no harm. The creature paused, then lowered its head to Elias's level. The air around them seemed to grow still, and for a long moment the two stared at one another. The boy with his curious eyes, and the creature with its ancient gaze. In that quiet moment, Elias noticed something strange. Despite its fearsome appearance, the creature's eyes held a deep sadness, a quiet loneliness that seemed to reach out from within. He didn't understand it fully, but he could sense that the creature was not a monster, as the villagers had told him. This was no beast. This was a guardian. The creature took a step back, its massive form retreating slightly. It turned its head toward the forest, then back to Elias. There, In the space between them, Elias could see the true power of the creature. It was not here to harm, but to protect. It was a guardian of the woods, a protector of the ancient trees, the animals, and the delicate balance of nature that held the forest together. Elias followed its gaze, and for the first time he understood. The forest was not just a place of danger and fear. It was a place of life, of magic, and of ancient strength. The creature was not a threat. It was a protector, a keeper of the forest's secrets, its stories, and its beauty. The creature turned away slowly, its massive form moving gracefully through the trees. Elias watched in awe, his heart filled with a strange sense of belonging. The guardian was leading him somewhere, and without a second thought, Elias followed. Together they walked through the forest. The creature, though still fearsome in appearance, moved with a quiet grace, its steps sure and steady. Elias walked beside it, his small feet light on the soft earth, his eyes filled with wonder at the world around him. He saw the hidden beauty of the forest, the delicate wildflowers that grew beneath the trees, the small animals that played in the underbrush, and the ancient trees that whispered in the wind. As they moved deeper into the forest, Elias began to understand the bond between the creature and the land. The guardian was not just a protector of the forest, it was a part of it. The forest and the creature were one, their fates intertwined. Together, they kept the balance of the woods, ensuring that the trees grew strong, the rivers ran clear, and the creatures lived in harmony. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Elias knew it was time to return to the village. But before he left, the creature stopped and turned to him. It bowed its head low, as if acknowledging him as a friend. Elias smiled and gently placed his hand on its fur, feeling the warmth and strength that flowed through it. He could sense that the creature was grateful for his company, for his understanding. The boy slowly made his way back toward the edge of the forest, the creature watching from the shadows. As Elias stepped back into the village, he felt a deep connection to the woods, to the creature, and to the magic that lived within the forest. He knew that the guardian would always be there, watching over the trees, the creatures, and the land, keeping them safe. From that day on, Elias visited the forest often, walking its paths with the guardian by his side. And though the villagers continued to fear what lay beyond their homes, Elias knew the truth. The forest was not a place of danger, but a place of wonder, protected by a creature that was neither monster nor myth, but a silent, powerful protector, one who watched over all the beauty of the woods. And so Elias and the protector of the woods became friends, and together they kept the magic of the forest alive for generations to come.